showed this to Steve Howe from Yes. And John Anderson and Chris Squire also played on it a little bit, but they weren't interested. So a few months later, Frank was coming through town, and I showed up at the Sage door and offered him a look, and he was interested, and he bought it. This was in Phoenix, Arizona. So Frank Zappa would come through town twice a year. I think probably on the beginning and end of his tours. It's just a hop and a skip from LA. So
why Arizona?
It's a pretty receptive audience there. Now, the first concert I ever saw, the first rock concert, was Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention in 1969 at the Phoenix Coliseum. I started making guitars in 1970, challenged by a friend of mine. He had bought an SG, and when I asked him how much it cost, I don't remember the number, but I said, oh, that's ridiculous. I could have built it for half that amount. And so a few weeks later, he came to my house with a little want ad, a newspaper, you remember. All it said was, make your own guitar and a phone number. So he said, make a guitar. So I called this number up. I said, I want to make an electric guitar. And he said, oh, we don't make those, but you're welcome to use the shop. We'll help you where we can. And that kind of started a long sort of association. He just let me work at the shop for free. So one day I was at the shop and somebody had come in with an SG that had been destroyed. I don't remember if the neck was burned or snapped off, but it was an SG body. So I took it, built a new neck for it, and then I inlaid the front of the body with rosewood and ebony to cover the blemishes that were there. And I built a neck that had one additional fret on it that SGs don't normally have. Normally they're 22 fret. And I figured, somebody's going to want that extra note. And Frank said yes to mine, and he said no to my friend's. And then he took my guitar inside while I was waiting outside, and hoping that he would return. He came back, he said, yeah, I'd like to buy it, meet me for breakfast tomorrow morning, and I'll give you cash. So the Celebrity Theater where he was performing had a hotel attached to it. It was a Travelodge. And so I met him at the counter the next morning. He gave me cash, and then I was happily on my way.
How much he bought it for?
My memory is $600. And then over the years, I would see these interviews where people would ask him about the guitar, and he said, oh, some guy in Phoenix made it. So when the internet happened, I thought it was time to go out there and kind of correct the record. And I started posting, that I wasn't some guy, I was Bart Nagel, and I made the guitar, trying to claim it. And it got around enough so that when people started writing about it in books, Tony Bacon, who wrote the SG book, and Mick Eakers, who wrote the Zappa Gear book, they called and interviewed me pretty extensively. So I took this photo in 1980, April of 1980. So this is when I had become a photographer, or decided to become a photographer. So in October of that year, Zappa was coming back through town again. I was able to get in and have him sign it. And it says, thanks for many years of loyal service, Frank Zappa, 1980, on here.